The coaching staff wasn't going anywhere.
Now, who will make the plays in the critical situations and the crucial time of the game? I don't know if there'll ever be anybody quite like Lawrence.
Written off just a month ago, the New York Giants can move into a second-place tie in the NFC East tonight as everyone else in the division lost today. In the AFC West, Denver has to win to keep the division lead over Kansas City, with San Diego also closing hard in a race that should go down to the wire. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. The New York Giants have won 4 of their last 5, including 3 straight. But tonight, they have to begin to adjust to the reality of life without Lawrence Taylor, the man who fueled the fire. And Joe Theismann, how do you go about doing that?
Well, Mike, you don't. First of all, you don't replace the greatest Giant ever. You probably don't replace the greatest outside linebacker in the history of professional football. But you try and do it, ironically, with 2 players. Corey Miller, for example, will be in on rundowns, and then Kanavis McGee will come in passing situations. Now, if the Giants want to continue their winning ways, they're going to have to pay heed to something Carl Banks said. And very easily he said, listen, if this Giant team is going to continue to win, we're going to have to slice up that piece of the pie, that huge piece of the pie that was Lawrence's. And we're going to have to find ways to make plays that we counted on him making.
Sure will. The Denver Broncos come in with first place in their division, but to take a look at their numbers, you wouldn't know it. They're 24th in the league on offense, 26th on defense. They've actually given up more points than they have scored. How are they winning? I expect a 2-word answer.
John Elway. Simple.
That's it.
John Elway is the reason why. He's brought him back from defeat 3 times. He's managed to get out and make big plays that have kept Denver up in front of their division. He's back to calling his own plays. Now, that's something that happened last week. Just to give you an idea how successful he was, 24 first-half plays, 19 passes. It's given him a sense of confidence. Historically, the Giants have been very good against the run. If you take into consideration what happened last week, you can count on John Elway to put the football in the air.
And Dan Reeves has relied on him throughout his 12 years, number 15 all-time in the NFL in wins. But the Giants are one of only 2 teams that he has never beaten during his career. Ray Handley, in his second year as head coach, has gone over 500 with his latest win streak to keep the Wolves a little further away from the door. The Giants will receive as we start the game. Denver, of course, with a tremendous home field advantage over the years since 1977. They are the best in pro football, 92-29. They are hoping that that counters the so-called NFC East jinx. Brad Deloiso has done a better job than anyone kicking the ball into the end zone. Drives this one a couple of yards deep, and the Giants will start from their own 20-yard line. The Giant offense, Jeff Hostetler comes out as the quarterback. Since the team's philosophy is to run the ball, he fits in as an excellent scrambler. The workhorse is Rodney Hampton, who has rushed for 740 yards, came into the weekend number 2 in the conference, 4th best in the league. Up front in the middle of a big, powerful line, Bart Oates, a 2-time Pro Bowler, who is also a fine pass blocker. Hampton, the single setback. And Hostetler on the naked bootleg. Sacked at the 7-yard line. Mike Kroll, a loss of 11.
Mike Kroll is the guy who's in charge of being the spy on Jeff Hostetler. This time he just comes hard from the outside, right part of your screen. They're just bringing him hard off the corner. Giants want to come out and open it up a little bit. Jeff Hostetler is not going to outrun Mike Kroll.
4.5 sacks on the year for Kroll. He has 4.48 speed. Gerard bunts the setback on 2nd and long. Bunch. And Wyman Henderson got him at the 14-yard line. Take a look at the Denver defense. The weak link is the line, although noseman Greg Cragen has used his quickness for 8 years to overcome the lack of size. Leading tackler Michael Brooks has all the tools in linebacker. He's become a devastating run stopper. He can dominate. So can free safety Steve Atwater, another big hitter. He'll be heavily involved in trying to stop the Giants on the ground. 3rd and 16. There is Kroll, a great speed rusher, and Meggett, number 30, into the ball game for the Giants. Stetler with time, dumps it to Meggett, and he's flattened. Brooks was right
there. This is a great job of a defense knowing down and distance. 3rd down and 14. Brooks in because of his speed, because of his intensity. They're not going to cover Meggett one-on-one. They realize that he's one of their 3rd down keys. They're back in a zone. They let him make the catch, close. Don't even wrap up. Just knock him back 5 yards.
John Landetta into punt to Arthur Marshall, the rookie free agent out of Georgia. Room to run. A 15-yard return after a punt of 39. The Broncos offense led by John Elway. The group has struggled this year, but if it's close at the end, Elway the best clutch man in the game. With Sammy Smith hurt, Gaston Green, the starter again, his numbers are up dramatically from 91. To improve the line, which needed it, the Broncos going with a free agent rookie at the vital left tackle spot. Russell Freeman, an excellent athlete, trying to survive on-the-job training. Green, the one back on the delay. Fumble the ball. They'll stop the play.
Ball start before the snap. Right tackle. 5 yards. First down.
And that's the one guy you wouldn't expect, the 12-year veteran Ken Lanier.
Well, the other thing is, too, is John Elway chose to come up under the center. Last week he started the first 3 offensive plays out of the shotgun. This time, there isn't as much shotgun in the offense, but if they struggle at all with the running game, don't be surprised if you see John move back 5 yards.
Green on the delay. Stutter stepping. Carl Banks knocks him down after a short gain. The Giants on defense, of course, without LT. Leonard Marshall will have to do it on his own. He'll need a dramatic increase in his meager total of 1.5 sacks so far. Overshadowed for years, Pepper Johnson, recognized as one of the league's best inside linebackers. He leads the team in tackles. The Giants' best cover man, Mark Collins, he still has good closing speed and can support the run with sure tackling at the corner. Reggie Rivers and Gaston Green are the backs on 2nd and 14. Play action by Elway. Throws short, throws complete. Shannon Sharp, who already has a career high 32 catches this year, gain of 12.
John realizes how good the Giants are up front, so what he does is he runs a little fake draw. Sharp just sort of picks his way across the field, heads for a dead area where the play action fake was, forces the DB to come up and make the play. Perry Williams takes him out of bounds.
3rd and 2 for Denver on its opening possession. Green. Driving straight ahead. Diassi couldn't hold him at the 30, and he dove inside to get the first down. Corey Miller. He draws the unflattering assignment of being in Lawrence Taylor's spot. They would like to play him on rundowns. He's a very good run stopper, and then bring Canavis McGee in to play on the passing down. He slips blocks really well, Mike. He'll engage the blocker and then try and slip around. That's why he's in there on the 1st and 10 situation. Elway to throw on first down. Four-man rush, plenty of time. Dumps it off, complete to Rivers. Out of the backfield, and Rivers may have another first down. Perry Williams made the tackle.
When a quarterback calls his own plays, Mike, all of a sudden, you're now responsible for what's going on the field. If something goes wrong, you can't look to the coach and say, well, I really didn't have confidence in that play. I really didn't like it. He is accountable for everything that's going on, and it places a greater onus also on the receivers and the backs when it comes to the passing game.
So far, this does not look like the league's 24th best offense. Delay, Gaston Green. And Green has struggled this year. 1,037 yards last season, went to the Pro Bowl. This year, his best game, 98 yards against Houston. He's only averaging 3.9 yards a carry.
But it's the offensive line that makes the running game go.
Sure is.
And the Broncos have really struggled. You know, I asked Gaston about Lawrence Taylor not being there, and he said, listen, they're different without Lawrence Taylor, and I hope he's not even on the sideline.
Don't blame him. 2nd and 8. Inside handoff from the shotgun. Marshall, the rookie. Marshall inside the 10 before the safety. Lamar McGregor could take him out of bounds. This guy's been a true find, the free agent rookie.
Elway in the shotgun, feels most comfortable there. Unusual to run a lot of running plays out of it. The Broncos basically go with a quick trap or a sweep. And in this case, you have to think that the Giants are thinking, oh, wait, Elway shotgun, let's back up a little bit. He takes advantage of it and just turns the corner.
3rd and short, 1 of 1. Of course, that should say Denver, not the Bears. Lewis. Inside the 5 to maybe the 2. Diassi hanging on at that point.
Mike, I got to believe that right now, Dan Reeves is tempted to call the play. You know, it's like, okay, John, you go call the plays. And I got to believe Dan, he's signaling the amount of people that are going in there. It's the 5 up would be a short yardage goal line of formation. He's looking at the plays. They've talked about it. Wouldn't matter whether John calls it here or Coach Reeves calls it. Probably going to be the same kind of play.
Giants line 11th best against the run in the league, but they have their back to the wall now. Rivers straight up the middle, touchdown.
Giants get down low. They fire through. They don't even block. Number 71 coming up the middle, Stacy Dillard. They let him go. It's almost like a sucker move. Let him go and run by him.
David Treadwell for the point answer. And if this was any indication of John Elway's play-calling ability, Dan Reeves may never call another one the rest of his career. Broncos on top by 7.
Until now, some thought imported luxury sedans possessed a higher level of engineering. But change is on the horizon. Introducing the 1993 Cadillac Seville STS with the North Star system. At its heart, a 295 horsepower North Star V8. So advanced, its first scheduled tune-up is 100,000 miles. The Cadillac Seville STS with the North Star system. Changing the way you think about American automobiles.
Blue. A color that reached for the sky and got it. Dignified. Versatile. Always proper. Blue. The color of choice for every ocean and Royal Navy. And nobody does blue like Dockers.
The call comes down from Canada. Cold crisp, clean. Friends come together to answer the call, to share the feeling. Molson Golden, Molson Light. Molson, answer the call.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles. By Levi's Dockers, nobody does colors like Dockers. And by Molson, the call comes down from Canada. Crisp, clean, refreshing. Molson, answer the call.
7-0 Denver. Dallariso, the kick to Meggett and Smith. And a couple of fans in the front row.
That's why he's here. That's why Dan Reeves went out and got Dallariso. He's the guy that can kick it out of the end zone. It means that teams have to go 80 yards every time they're here at Mile High. You like the Denver defensive chances if somebody's got to go 80 yards against it.
Very impressive scoring drive after good field position. 40 yards. It took 8:40. Surgical precision, and they lead 7-0. The addition of Dallariso also means you lose a position player because they're carrying 3 kickers on the roster. But it paid off for them. Bunch to single step back behind Hostetler. Hostetler shot from behind Simon Fletcher. Fletcher, a guy who's been overlooked most of his career. He has led the team in sacks the last 4 seasons.
All he does is show up. Now, lower left part of your screen, you see him rush, but that's where Hostetler wants to go up to his left. Everybody's covered. You can't 1, 2, 3, set, fire. The offensive line is throwing. The backs are throwing at the feet of the defenders. If you don't get it off, you're in trouble, and he was.
Hostetler has already been sacked twice. Hampton, big hole to the 24-yard line. Wyman Henderson, the first man on the stop, a gain of 9.
Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos, 2 things he wanted to accomplish. He's going to have to get the safeties involved because he respects the running game of the Giants so much. The other thing is, he feels like if he can force the Giants to throw the football, they can get their corners to cover him because, in truth, the Giant receivers just aren't threats. So if they feel like they can get their corners on them, they feel like they have an advantage.
They go with 4 wides this time. Baker, the only man with speed, to the top of the screen. Inside handoff. Meggett to the 29-yard line. Stopped short of the first down. Mike Kroll.
Unbelievable job by both Kroll and Brooks. Kroll had him on the right side. Brooks had him on the left. Meggett went towards Brooks. He turned him back into Kroll. These 2 guys are so fast. See how they signal to one another? Says, listen, if he comes towards you, just send him my way. I'll get him for you.
76,000 people were on their feet. They're tired of this NFC East mystique, and they have been pounded a couple of times this year. That's Arthur Marshall waiting at the 25-yard line. Sean Landetta to punt. A cannon this time. Holy cow. Drove him all the way back to the 12. And Marshall with a big-time return out to the 30-yard line. Steve Biasi made the tackle on special teams. We'll be back in a moment.
Order a large pizza, pay the regular price. Here's a special deal, 'cause we're wonderful guys. Your second large pizza with the topping you choose is only $7.95. Now, there's some good news. If a medium pizza is more your size, order one, pay regular price. A similar deal applies. Your second medium pizza with the topping you select is only $5.95, and we'll deliver them direct. A wonderful offer, so make your selection. A money-saving way to dine from Chicago Connection.
How do you measure the warmth and sincerity of a smile or a feeling of true friendship? How do you express a dedication to cleanliness and comfort? How do you define the meaning of real value? Well, at Shiloh Inns, you can experience these traditions every day in the spirit of Shiloh's people. waiting to welcome you across America's western states. The spirit of Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence.
There are 2 Treasure Valley phone books. One of them offers you more. This one. The Regional Telephone Directory offers you more of everything you want in a phone book, including more accurate listings. Every time you use the other book, you run a 1 in 12 chance of not getting the right number.
We're sorry.
Add to this complete listings for Nampa Caldwell, money-saving coupons, a free talking directory, and it's easy to see. If you only use one book, this is the one. The Regional Telephone Directory. Anything else is old news.
That's Rod Rust in his first year as the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. He took a lot of heat early, came in and tried to change parts of the system. Players did not react to it too well. In the last month, they have been playing much better in that system.
Well, in the beginning, it was really the old adage of trying to teach old dogs new tricks. And guys like Leonard Marshall and Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks had been comfortable in a system before. Now he asked them to try and do a few different things. They finally got acclimated to it the last 3 or 4 weeks, and the results have started to show with 3 victories.
Spot the ball at the 29. Denver with its second possession up 7-0. Giants may have jumped, and Elway to throw on first down. There's a flag down. Clarence Gay couldn't hold it.
Unbelievable, Mike. When we had a chance to sit with Rod Rust last night, he stated one thing very emphatically. He said, when there is an offside, we still must be ready to defend. And there was a case where your defense, even though it's an offside, you can't settle for a second. You can't relax.
Number 70, defense, 5 yards, first down.
Bob McElwee tells us it is Leonard Marshall. Elway has been pretty good with that throughout his career, as you were.
Well, no.
You got penalized more.
Yeah,
for it.
I was good for getting 5-yard penalties for the offense, not against the defense, because they'd always call me for head bob. Now I see shoulders, heads, bodies moving. They don't throw flags on quarterbacks.
So 1st and 5. Two tight end offense, and Green with the carry. Blitzes straight up the middle to midfield. Huge hole straight up the middle. Mark Collins had to make the tackle 15 yards downfield.
Last year, John Elway said the addition of Gaston Green in the backfield gives them a big play threat besides him. Look at the hole. Look at the crease going up the middle. Does a nice job. Nice little shoe line tackle. Offensive line gets under the defensive line of the Giants. Once you do that, all you have to do is create a hole. Keith Karts with an excellent block on Eric Howard.
And this is an offensive line that has taken more than its share of criticism, and running between the tackles is not Gaston Green's strong suit. Elway with a quick set. That one's tipped and almost caught. Looked like Pepper Johnson got a hand on it, and Renee Thompson nearly made the interception.
John just looks so confident. It's such a difference when you look at the eyes. And if you can, look at the face. See, he's not looking over. He's looking down at his wristband. On his wristband are plays that he likes to call. Now, they're color-coded. For example, the yellows would be, and I'm not sure exactly, they could be 1st and 10. Blue would be 2nd and short. Orange would be 3rd and long. John just looks down. He doesn't have to look to the sideline. He can concentrate on plays in his own mind.
If I was a defensive lineman, I'd go after that. Four-man rush. Elway dumps it off, and Rivers can't hold the pass. It was down around his ankles. Pepper Johnson was there anyway. When we talked to John Elway the other day, I've never seen him more relaxed. He seemed very at peace with himself. And he said one thing that always struck me, hit me a few years ago, when he said, you don't worry about the things you can't control, and your life becomes much more simple.
The other thing, before we started sitting down with him, I passed by him in the locker room. I said, how you feeling? He said, I have no complaints. That's different for a football player nowadays.
Broncos on 3rd and long. 28th in the league. Elway chased by Marshall. Buys more time, complete first down. Jackson, 30, 20. Got Young out there blocking for it. To the 5. Touchdown.
take a look at it from a defensive back's point of view. They've dropped 8 men in coverage. But look at the great job that Jackson gets from his receivers. Guys out in front. Look at Michael Young. Just sort of follow me. Just keeps throwing his body. That was Mark Jackson's touchdown, but Michael Young sure helped him get in the end zone.
A couple of tremendous individual efforts, and Treadwell kicks it through. That is the 10th touchdown for the Broncos this year, covering more than 20 yards in length. 14-0 Denver.
We need a break.
We need a break.
A McDonald's break.
Yeah, a Big Mac.
Fries.
Yeah, large fries.
An ice-cold medium Coke Classic.
Oh, give me a break.
Everything, all of it right now, just $2.99.
$2.99 for all that?
Are we getting a break?
Yes.
I get a Big Mac sandwich, large fries, and a medium Coke, all for just $2.99? That's incredible.
Extra value meals. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Just try Black & Decker's Power Driver with torque control. You'll notice one major difference, the clutch. The higher the setting, the more powerful it gets. Power Driver and Power Driver with torque control from Black & Decker.
Until now, some thought imports wrote the book on handling, but change is just around the corner. Introducing the Cadillac Eldorado Touring Coupe with the North Star system. Its advanced road-sensing suspension reads the contours of the road automatically and adjusts instantaneously to put the fun back into driving. The Cadillac Eldorado Touring Coupe with the North Star system, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
It's 30 below, you've got a cold, cough, you've got a real problem.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I have no sneezes, no coughs, no runny nose. I took Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough this morning.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough. It's tough medicine.
It's not a question of if your favorite team will lose a player. It's a question of who. Will it be the high-priced superstar or the young phenom down on the farm? The Major League Baseball Expansion Draft, Tuesday on ESPN.
Denver jumping all over the Giants early, 14-0.
Coach Hanley looking on. When you take a look at this play after the kickoff, we'll show you why it was so special.
Gallerusso kicking to Meggett and Smith. And another one deep in the end zone. The Giants will have to start from their own 20 and get something going.
Take a look at this play. Notice the Giants are back in what really appears to be a total zone defense. Now there you see everybody's dropped back. Now as Elway starts to move, everybody's covered. But now Rod Russ talked about this. That's the end of the first play. All of a sudden, when Elway starts to scramble, you start a second play, and you have to play man-to-man, which the Giants didn't do very well. Great blocking again by Michael Young. Really gets Jackson in the end zone.
And really some sloppy tackling at the end of the play. Both safeties had a shot at it. Hampton as the Giants try to establish something. Cragen made the tackle, a gain of maybe 1.
The previous 2 first downs, they came out with passes, took negative yardage, ran on second, got very little. This time, at least they got some positive yardage. They cannot afford to get much further behind because this offense is not known for its ability to throw the football.
And the one thing about the Giants defense is they've already given up 111 yards in the first half, is they're near the bottom of the league in giving up points in the first 2 quarters. Bunch and Hampton, the back, on 2nd and 8. Bunch. Cut it outside, and did Dennis Smith come up flying in the safety spot.
Broncos have a little bit of an advantage in their defensive scheme. They play with 4 linebackers, but when you think of Atwater and Smith, these guys are so big, they play like linebackers. Atwater's at 217, Smith's a bit over 200, but look at him react to the run. He sees the void, he has an idea where Bunch is going. You can bet he's not going to take him on up too high. That's the old ankle tackle.
Another one of those Southern California safeties. 3rd and 3. The Giants have gotten nothing gone on offense. Quarterback draw. Hostetler escapes once, can't do it the second time. They may have whistled this play dead because Bart Oates gave it a head fake to try to draw them offside.
Now we see.
Last start on the center before the snap.
Bart going into his bag of tricks. That was a favorite play of a Dallas Cowboy by the name of D.D. Lewis on punt formation. Used to do that all the time. Stand over the ball and then raise your head real quick. Brings the defensive guy. Watch his head come up. There it is. See him bring his head up? See a little nod? He pulled that defensive line offside, but he didn't fool the official.
That makes it 3rd and 8 for the Giants.
Mecklenburg looking over the formation, making sure all his players are set up right.
The Giants have 12 yards in offense so far. 12. Hostetler throws complete. McCaffrey to the 35-36. He's got the first down. Ed McCaffrey out of Stanford. A gain of 9, but a flag down, and it will go against Denver. Tack it on.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 73 defense, going to the head. 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
That's Simon Fletcher.
Ed McCaffrey, little out route, does a good job of getting away from Leo Lang, makes the catch. Now, he's protecting some sore ribs, so don't expect him to be running wide open down the sidelines tonight. Now, you know, they complain about quarterbacks not taking too many shots, but you can't touch the quarterback's head, period. You touch his head, it's 15 yards.
Giants for the first time in Denver territory. Mecklenburg shows blitz and comes on the run blitz, and Hampton goes through one of those holes and gets down to the 45-yard line. What some fans don't understand when they see linebackers coming, they think they've diagnosed a pass play. They like to do it to mess up the ground game, too.
But it's for two purposes. Put pressure on the quarterback and mess up the running game. There's your pass analysis. Notice thrown passes and receptions. You can see here that the deep guys usually don't have the greatest percentages. The shorter guys like Meggett have high percentages of receptions.
2nd and 6. Hampton, oh, what a hole. Blasting his way inside the 35-yard line. That's what the Giants do best. Run the ball with power and not turn it over.
The Giants are now starting to gain back control of the line of scrimmage. What makes a running game? An offensive line. The Giants are bigger up front than the Broncos. This is just a question of a huge hole. Just an excellent job by Roberts and Elliott on the left side. Jumbo and Williams making a big hole for Rodgers.
Hampton has developed into a prime back. Bunch will get a try. Moves the pile to the 31-yard line. This is what Denver has been vulnerable to, is the power game they have over the years.
Way to solve the power game is you put a lot of people at the line of scrimmage. Look at that. They got everybody up there. 7 guys right in every gap. All it becomes is a gap defense. They make the Giants run to where Bronco is.
Gain of 3 on the last play. 2nd and 7. We're under a minute to go. First period. Denver quickly on top. 14-0. Hampton, the single setback on the toss sweep. Cut it back, and Dennis Smith was waiting for him at the 30.
If I'm a Giant offensive coach, I am going to check off any type of a play like that. The reason why, Denver has great defensive speed. If you pitch the ball and try and take them outside, they're going to make the play and pursue very well.
All right, listen to Smith come up on Hampton.
Smashed.
Running backs have heard that sound many times.
So it's quarterback.
Dennis Smith's 12-year career. 3rd and 5. Meggett is in. Comes the blitz. Hostetler dumps it to Meggett. Room to run to the 15-yard line. Tyrone Braxton made the tackle. A gain of 15, and Hostetler bought time in the pocket to make it work. That is the end of the first period of play here at Mile High in Denver, where the Broncos lead it 14-0.
The Forest Service has just returned over 192 trucks for resale at the Golden Rule Auto Mall. These trucks are loaded, most with just 2,000 to 8,000 miles, and still have the factory warranty. Fords, Toyotas, Nissans, GMCs, Chevys, and this 92 Chevy work truck just $99.86. There's only one place in Idaho to find over 100 lease return trucks. The Golden Rule Auto Mall, midway between Amphicarville on the boulevard.
Now's the time to look into the hottest deals at Smith's Hearth and Home Centers, like the brass flame wood stove. Hey, you don't have money to burn. With this wood stove, you can watch your heating costs go down in flames. It surpasses EPA standards for efficiency, is alcove and mobile home safety approved, and offers the only burn combustion system. It's safe on the environment, and that lets us all breathe a little easier. Come see the brass flame for yourself, and you'll know I'm not full of hot air. Smith's Hearth and Home Centers, Boise, and Smith's Nampa Fireside.
Gary and I decided that we wanted to brighten our very dark and dreary kitchen.
So the Rogers came to Cabinet Crafters. This is their new kitchen. We didn't paint it, and these aren't new cabinets. What we did is reface their old cabinets with real wood veneer and replace their drawer and door fronts in the style and color they wanted. All for a fraction of the cost of new cabinets. We even replaced their countertops.
Since we had our kitchen redone, we've had a lot of nice compliments.
Call today for a free in-home estimate. Cabinet Crafters, the affordable alternative to new cabinetry.
For the second week in a row, John Elway calling his own plays, having some fun.
He really is. You know, when a quarterback gets in rhythm and he gets comfortable with what he wants to do, everybody feels it. The receivers make better catches, the line blocks better for him, the routes are run better by the wide receivers, and especially when you got a guy like John Elway, where all of a sudden, if he has to, he's going to take off and improvise, and then everybody becomes in the play again.
First and 10 for the Giants from the 15-yard line. Hampton gets about 3. Brooks on his back, and even though it's just the start of the second quarter, you would obviously think the Giants need to get points out of this drive, if not a touchdown. Ray Handley beleaguered early.
I think the one thing that Ray's got to be happy with in this drive is the way it started. It didn't start with negative yardage, first of all. But secondly, it looks like now all of a sudden that offensive line is taking control of that line of scrimmage, creating some holes for Hampton and Bunch to run through.
Giants, one of the best teams in the NFL inside the 20-yard line. They have a 2nd and 7 here. Hostetler straight back. Can't find anybody. He can run. Dumps it to Hampton. And Hampton stepped out of bounds. It's no catch. And Hostetler was precariously close to the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
To have that much time, you have to have your offensive line working. Jumbo Elliott on Simon Fletcher. Gets the hands up, but then gets him back inside. Gives Jeff all the time in the world. And Hostetler did just a great job of finding a little bit of room, but Rodney lost track of where he was on the football field. He just kept drifting and drifting and drifting a little outside.
That makes it 3rd and 7. It would have been a 1st and goal. Meggett is in. Hostetler incomplete. Nice defense by Lilo Lang, who batted it down.
Tried to squeeze one into Stephen Baker. Lilo Lang right in his hip pocket. Baker more of a deep threat. When you get him into confined areas of a 5- or 6-yard route, it's not really to his advantage. Right part of your screen. You see how tight Lang is? We don't know quite where that left arm is, but we know the right one knocked the ball down.
Matt Barr is on to try the field goal of 30 yards to get New York on the board. One of the most accurate kickers all time. And with 14:01 to go second quarter, Matt Barr's 30-yard field goal gives the Giants their first score.
The call comes down from Canada. Cold, crisp, clean. Friends come together to answer the call, to share the feeling. Molson Golden. Molson Light. Molson. Answer the call.
Until now, some thought high maintenance was an unavoidable expense of high performance. Change is in sight. Introducing the North Star system by Cadillac, with a 295 horsepower V8 engine so advanced, its first scheduled tune-up is 100,000 miles. So while others promise the world, Cadillac gives you the equivalent of a trip around it 4 times over. The North Star system by Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
A reminder from Walmart. No matter who you are, no matter what you drive, there's one sure way to get more out of it. Regular oil changes with quality Haviland motor oil. When you add Haviland, you add more life to your car. And with Walmart savings every day of the year, you're not only miles ahead, you're dollars ahead too. Saving money at Walmart. It's an idea that's really catching on. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
Giants get on the scoreboard, still trail Denver 14-3. And the scoring drive for the Giants covered 68 yards, and Barr finished it off as they finally got into some offensive rhythm.
And the Giants only really wound up with 3 points instead of 7. Hostetler scrambling. Nice job by the line. Rodney Hampton just loses himself on the field and floats. Left foot down, right foot out. He's in the end zone. He makes this reception. It's a touchdown instead of 3 points.
Gaston Green, 28. Derek Russell, 85. Are deep to receive. Barr's kickoff. Russell just shy of the 20-yard line. 13:51 to go first half from Mile High Stadium, and we'll be back to Denver in a moment.
Families are big, big business, so everybody says theirs is a family car. All right, tell me it has 90 cubic feet of passenger space like a Subaru Legacy then. Enough room for 5 so you're close but not touching me close. Tell me it has a quiet, horizontally opposed engine like the Legacy. There's enough noise already with a family. Tell me it offers all-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes like a Legacy. A family car is for my family, not some other family I don't care so much about. Tell me I have the money. I want to know what to drive.
Great. They fixed up that old truck and went out for their big driving lesson. You know, they'll never forget this day as long as they live.
Here's to fathers and sons, first-time driving lessons and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Subaru. It's what to drive. By Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. And by the United States Marine Corps. You have to be tough to compete, but smart to win.
Denver will take over at its own 20-yard line, leading the Giants 14-3. Green and Rivers, the running backs behind Elway. Green gets about 3. ESPN's presentation of Major League Baseball continues this Tuesday as we'll cover the expansion draft for you. All 3 rounds, the Colorado Rockies and the Miami Marlins will select players from all 26 teams. Join Keith Olbermann and our draft team live from New York City on Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. And the Rockies will determine whether they will take the first pick in the first round or take one in the second and third round. And second and 7, Elway throws into the flat, completely shut. The H-back knocked out of bounds at the 30. It looks like he has a first down.
obviously the Colorado Rockies are going to come here and play. Now, how would you set up the baseball diamond? That's going to be home plate. That's the third base dugout. There's the first base dugout. You come down here. Here's the pitcher's mound. You come out here to second base. You go over here. You go to third. Now, the left field line's only about 100 feet. Right field line's going to be about 900. So if I'm going to be drafted by the Rockies, I want to be a right-handed hitter. Because trying to knock one out of here as a lefty is going to be a long, long poke, I'll tell you that.
I got a flash for you. You're not going to be drafted by the Rockies.
Thanks.
The delay, Green, about 3 again. Diassi and plenty of help waiting for him. We talked about John Elway calling his own plays, but really it goes far beyond just calling the play.
You would immediately think that because he's calling his own plays and signaling to the sidelines different things, the game plan is more simplified. It's not true. What it basically is there are less personnel switches, so there's less personnel changes. That's basically why John Elway is able to call the plays. He knows that he has certain packages on the field, and he can make the decisions that he wants.
And he has the guys he's comfortable with. Inside shovel pass to Sharp. Takes the tackle, gets it out to the 45-yard line. Another first down. Eric Dorsey from behind with the tackle.
That's a great play to run towards one of the young linebackers that has to take Lawrence Taylor's place. Who's ever on the left side, you watch it on the right side. That's Carl Banks coming up the field. He realizes he's now taking LT's place. I got to get up and put pressure on Elway. All of a sudden, they don't even block him. They just run up underneath him.
Elway has now hit 5 out of 7, 94 yards. Rivers. You've got to give a lot of credit to Denver's offensive line that has taken an awful lot of heat this year. They have not done a great job. Tonight, they are overpowering a big and a very good Giant defensive line.
This is basically an offensive line that is learning to grow together. Reminds me a lot of the early Redskin line with Jacoby and Grimm and May and Boston. All sort of young, but learning to play together. Maybe this year, at the end of the year, they'll be efficient. Next year, having played together, they'll really be able to handle the offensive line.
John Elway enjoying outstanding pass protection the last 2 weeks. First time in his career he hadn't been sacked in 2 games in a row during the regular season. Here goes Elway with his second. Head down, diving for the first down. Whacked by Greg Jackson, but he got it.
He did get it.
Shades of Warren Moon today, who took one shot after another, and Elway slow getting up.
John's going to look at the films on Monday, and he's going to think, he's going to say, why? Why do I do this? Why didn't I just step out of bounds? He covered up and everything.
And Tommy Maddox will warm up in a hurry. See how it sounds on the field again.
Why? Oh, kaboom. I think that's the best way to describe that. Now, he knows he's going to get hit. See, look at him cover up. He gets down. It's the hit from the side that's got him shaken up a little bit.
And you saw him protect the ball, but he didn't protect himself very well. And Elway still down on a knee as Maddox, the rookie out of UCLA, their first-round draft choice, warms up. We'll be back in a moment.
At Round 3 Isuzu, we just received a huge new shipment of Isuzu value leaders, like 10 new 92 Isuzu pickups loaded with value features. Buy for $76.69, or take advantage of our short-term alternative and lease it for just $169 a month plus tax. New 92 Isuzu Rodeos, choose from 40, loaded $13,995, or lease it for just $276 a month plus tax. Or 5 new 92 Isuzu Trooper 4-door 4x4s with automatic air and more, $18,995, or lease it for just $369 a month plus tax. Choose from a huge selection of these value leaders. The word is on the street. The best service, selection, and prices at Round 3 Isuzu.
How can one describe the taste of Domino's new pan pizza?
Zesty!
The secret's the crust, baked with onions, garlic, Parmesan cheese.
Zesty!
It's unlike any other pizza, and only one word describes it.
Les yeux de son amour, enflammés de passion. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like Zesty pan pizza.
Look what's happened to Commercial Tire in 24 years. We have grown to serve southern Idaho and eastern Oregon, and we're going to continue to grow to better serve your tire and automotive needs. And with this being our 25th year of business, what better way to start off the year than with Commercial Tire's annual Think Snow Snow Tire Sale. This year we are featuring our full lineup of automotive batteries along with the Kelly Wintermark GTS steel-belted snow radial, which features a special rubber temperature compound for maximum grip in all weather conditions. So get a grip and save during Commercial Tire's annual Think Snow Snow Tires.
They have been working on John Elway's right shoulder, his throwing arm, the same one that had surgery February 13th to repair earlier damage.
He takes a shot from Greg Jackson on the left shoulder, and it just drives the right one into the ground. You can see him grab it immediately down on the ground. Now, they've been working on it and moving it. He's trying to get into some semblance of a throwing motion, and that sign basically says what the Giants fans are hoping for.
Rookie Tommy Maddox, who came out of UCLA early, on in Elway's play. Green trying to get outside. Fake, Maddox. Throwing on the run, incomplete. Jackson couldn't get it inbound. People question why take Tommy Maddox, #1 in the draft, when it came to Denver's turn. This is the reason why. Gary Kubiak, the longtime backup, decided to retire. You don't make it with one quarterback anymore. You have to have somebody who can come off the bench, and in Denver's case, somebody you think that can win.
Yeah, Mike, but this isn't the reason why. He wasn't supposed to play for 4 or 5 more years.
Oh, I know.
When he just was activated earlier in the year when Horn went down so he could hold for Treadwell.
2nd and 10. The very physical player. Green. Rivers, blockers in front. What a play by Pepper Johnson. Got between 2 blockers and made the tackle. Saved maybe 10, 15 yards. You can tell Elway in some discomfort trying to throw the football.
Trying to loosen it up. What happens is he's warm. Fortunately, it's a nice night. It's not a cold night here at all in Denver. He's trying to keep it loose, and that's the most important thing, is that he just keeps it moving. It's going to be much sore tomorrow than it is tonight, but you can see he's still not certain. Impressed with the calls that Dan Reeves has made for Tommy Maddox.
Yeah.
A couple of passes right out of the chute.
Rivers, the single set back as Maddox goes to the shotgun. Comes the blitz. The rookie stands in there but throws incomplete. Could have been caught by Marshall. Would have been a tough catch. A little behind him and down around the knees. Felipe Sparks, good coverage for the Giants.
Raymond Berry, the quarterback coach here in Denver now, has nothing but praise. He basically capsules Tommy Maddox in this way. He says, you know, he's young, but he feels that he is advanced when it comes to understanding the game of football. I will be willing to bet if he continues to play, he's going to complete more of those passes as this game goes on and gets more comfortable.
No one pays more attention to detail than Raymond Berry. Ruben Rodriguez going for the corner. And it looks like he got it. That may be a great kick. No, they're saying it went in the end zone. And Rodriguez and his teammates really upset. He was signed when Mike Horan was injured. We'll be back in a moment.
If you could see inside your suitcase when you travel, you'd see how Samsonite Hardside protects what's inside. Because Samsonite has a crush-resistant outer shell and a durable hardside construction that's designed to hold up over the long haul.
Daddy, did you bring me anything?
Samsonite Hardside. After all, you've got your life in there.
A test drive, 6 miles on smooth roads. If I was only driving 6 miles on smooth roads, I'd buy a bike. I'd get in shape. Let me test drive in rush hour traffic so I can see if it'll last like a Subaru. Let me test drive it to snowy Alaska so I can see if it has all-wheel drive like a Legacy. Don't take me around the block. Let's get it to 50 and slam the brakes so I can see if it offers anti-lock brakes like a Legacy. Test drives aren't real. What's real is the money I'm spending. Show me, tell me, I have the money. I want to know what to drive.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It keeps going and going and...
The champion, Kevin Pompey. The challenger, Buck Smith. The prize, the USBA Welterweight Championship on Top Rank Boxing. Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
John Elway still trying to loosen up that throwing shoulder, not grimacing as much as he was earlier. The Broncos bench says he was just shaken up, but you can tell that something happened to that right shoulder.
He went from a 30-06 to a 20 gauge. That's the difference.
Hampton, power football. Hampton nearly 10 yards straight up the middle. Jeff Mills made the tackle.
Little things make a difference in this game. Now, here's the kicking game. What the Broncos try to do is kick it from the numbers to the sidelines. So what's going to happen? That's only 12 yards right there. They can keep the ball over here where Megan can only go one way instead of taking it either side of the field. That's just a little bit of a thing in the kicking game, but it prevents you from having the big return. That's the way Dan Reeves coaches.
And Rodriguez thought he put it out at the 1-yard line. Second and a yard. Bunch didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. He is gang tackled. The first guy that hit him was Brian Sauché. Dennis Smith came up to support. Sauché, the longtime Miami Dolphin, now playing left defensive end for this club. When Dennis Smith has already gotten some big shots tonight. Here's Sauché.
You know, he gets such a run. He gets a 15-yard running start. And when the Giants make the hold, you got to figure that's where the running back is going. So he's coming from an angle where he can just put the sights on and wham.
Third and a yard now. Bunch got the first down this time out across the 31-yard line. Another sellout crowd here in Denver. 178 non-strike games in a row, and they certainly enjoyed the first part of the first quarter. The Budweiser storyline tells us Elway has thrown for nearly 100 yards so far. Hostetler only 32. Denver dominating statistically, both in yards and first down. Hampton trying to get outside, cuts it back. You have to feel a little sorry for Hostetler at times because you know there's situations where he'd like to call an audible and throw the football, but he doesn't have enough speed to scare anybody downfield to do it.
Well, you know, not only that, Mike, but it's sort of tough quarterbacking a football team that is run-oriented because the time that you're going to be asked to pass is usually going to be in third down, and it's going to be a little bit more pressure than coming out and throwing it on first or second and trying to make a play on third. So there is a bit more pressure on Haas.
Ball spotted to 35, second and 6. Hampton again behind Bunch. Needs to get to the 42. They'll be about 3.5-yard shot.
There was that guy coming up flying again. Dennis Smith comes. That little flash in your picture was him. Well, this left side of this giant line, Elliott, Williams, Oates. Look at this. Now watch the left side. All of a sudden, whoosh, there he is. There went Dennis Smith right at the bottom of the pile.
Third down, a long 3, nearly 4 yards for the Giants. Time ticking away in the first half, 5:41 to go. Hostetler tries to scramble, lost the ball, Denver has it. Cragen caused the fumble. Shane Dronette recovered.
Talked to Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith earlier this week. They said their priorities on defense were number 1, stop Dave Meggett. Number 2, stop Jeff Hostetler from running with the football. They can't let him do it, and they didn't. Good job by the secondary. Haas gets squeezed. Ball comes out before he's on the ground. Recovery.
And the Giants were the second best in the league in not giving it away.
It's just a great job of passing people off. There's nobody for him to throw the football to.
Elway back in at quarterback. Green. First down. flag at the end of the play. Carl Banks made the tackle. And we'll check out the penalty. And it will go against Denver on a clip. You know, Joe, one thing I wondered about coming into this game, with Lawrence Taylor being out and the way it happened, would the Giants be more emotional?
Personal
or
foul,
less emotional?
illegal crackback, number 85. 15 yards, first down.
So far, it looks like Denver is far more pumped up than New York.
Well, Denver's at home. And I think that has a tendency to do. When you're on the road, it's very difficult to get pumped up because it's only 47 guys versus 78,000. So it's a little bit more difficult. There's the crackback. Now, the rule is you can't hit below the waist. Okay? He takes him down below the waist. It's considered a crackback. Can't do it anywhere. Returns or blocking at any point.
In this case, it's a wide receiver coming back. That's why it's referred to as a crackback block. And a lot of guys used to get hurt on that.
Yeah, it really isn't clipping. It's just a crackback.
Dan Reeves disagrees.
Well, Dan wants to say who called it. Come here. Just come here. Who called it? A little upset.
And the official's still trying to sort it out. Problem with the spot of the ball. Now they'll put it down at the Giant 47. That will be first and 19.
Wherever it is, it's not going to please Dan Reeves.
Elway dumps it in the flat. Green caught by the back of the jersey. Pepper Johnson got him with his fingertip and then has something to say to the Denver bench. And if one guy's fired up, it's Pepper Johnson.
You know, with the loss of Lawrence, we talked about it in the open, Mike. There are going to be players that are going to have to make plays. Somebody's got to pick up that piece that LT made the plays doing. This is just a great individual effort. Pepper, not the fastest guy in the world, but he's not going to stop. Look at him. Sell out. Just dive. Catch a little bit of Gaston's back to bring him down.
Second and 16. Banks comes on the blitz. Nobody gets there. Picked off. Jackson, the safety with the interception. Blocking in front. Down to the 31-yard line. A return of 34. And the 12th interception against Elway this year.
Keeping John Elway in the pocket is probably the best thing you can do. You don't want him running around. They do a good job of defending it. John having to throw through a bunch of hands at the line of scrimmage. Jackson just sees the ball thrown.
Boy, Marshall did not even reach up for it.
Didn't really have a chance at it. That's the thing. If you don't see John Elway's passes, you don't have time to react.
I think Marshall may have seen somebody else coming, too. And Jackson gets his third pick of the year. Big break forced by the Giants after they fumble. Hampton. Got about 4.
Michael, you know, that doesn't seem like much. I mean, 3, 4 yards. But what it is you remember they started the game, sack, second down in a mile, second down in 13 or 14. Now you're keeping the game within the confines of what your offense can do well. They want to be in third down and 3s. Ray Hanley wants to be in third down and 4s. He feels like they can convert greater percentages.
Guess who else wants it?
Hostetler.
Every time he's gone back to throw, he's had 4 or 5 guys right in his face. Second and 6. Hampton. Nice haul off the corner, and Wyman Henderson diving in there to trip him up.
The defensive backs of the Denver Broncos have so much respect for the running back of the Giants. You'll notice we've seen Smith go to Bunch's knees. We've seen Wyman Henderson on that time go to Hampton's knees. I mean, if you're going to make these secondary guys tackle those backs all day, the Giants are going to wind up picking up a lot more yardage. Great job by that left side of the line. Howard Cross creates the shield so that Hampton can get outside. Yeah, I'm not taking you up high, Rodney.
And Henderson may have gotten a knee in the head. He came out. Lilo Lang comes in on 3rd and 1. Bunch. Cut it outside. Nearly fumbled the football. Dives to the 20 and a first down. Good job by Bunch, who had the ball on his hip and nearly lost it.
Mike Kroll had him for a 2-yard loss. That gives you an idea of the power of Gerard Bunch. Of course, he's only 250. Just a little tiny guy running outside.
Known mainly as a blocker, but he is a good short yardage runner.
Gets a chance to get ahead of steam up. Watch it. Left to right, he's running. They try and collapse it down. Now it's one-on-one. Cole's actually got him around the waist, but you just can't hold him.
Arm tackles are not going to stop this guy, and the Giants are going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning as they have a new set of downs from the Denver Bronco 20-yard line. And there is the 2-minute warning. It's 14-3 Denver. We'll be back in a moment.
It started very simply. Cheese pizza, plain and simple. Then we topped it with pepperoni, added mushrooms and Italian sausage, made 3 kinds of crust and layered it with mozzarella, provolone, Monterey Jack, and cheddar cheeses. And before we knew it, we were selling pizzas topped with onions and green peppers, tomatoes and black olives, jalapenos, beef toppings, bacon, Canadian bacon, anchovies, even a Hawaiian pizza with ham and pineapple. So no wonder, when people want their favorite pizza, they all go to the same place. Hey, you'll probably see a lot of your friends there. Pizza Hut, America's favorite pizza.
Idaho's right on target at Target's Discount Used Car Center with instant credit, discount prices, and huge selection.
92 Buick Skylark Smart Cars now just $10,488 or $199 a month. Loaded with automatic anti-lock brakes, AM/FM stereo, air, tilt, power locks, and low miles. Over 10 to choose from, all just $10,488 or $199 a month.
Idaho's right on target at Target's Discount Used Car Center, 30th and Main, downtown Boise.
There's a new name in the fashion game, Leathers Plus. Choose your style, factory direct, from Boise's biggest leather inventory. One size does not fit all, but we can, from the kids through double extra large for the big guy. Quality workmanship and materials backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Easy access next to the theaters across the parking lot from Boise Town Square. Leathers Plus.
Denver leading at 14-3, 2 minutes to go in the half, but the Giants have the ball at the Bronco 20-yard line. And the reason the Giants have been winning lately, the last 6 games they have had 12 takeaways after struggling in the first 4.
Your defense will always lead you out of a hole.
John Elway, we are told, will not play the rest of the first half. He is going to the locker room. He may have been shaken up again on the interception because it appeared he was either in on the tackle or was blocked into the tackle. So Elway will be taken to the locker room and diagnosed at halftime. Hostetler to throw on first down. Hampton in the flat. Simon Fletcher with a great job not to let him loose.
Gives you an idea of the versatility of Simon Fletcher. We've seen him put pressure on Hostetler. We've seen him make a sack. Now here he is out way close to the sidelines in the flat. Good one-on-one tackle.
Clock continues to run. Giants in no hurry. Plenty of time, actually, with a minute and a half.
Here's the shot from our goalpost cam. Just like you'd be a free safety.
On 2nd and 10, Hampton. They bunch him up this time, and he has no chance. Swarmed to line of scrimmage, and Michael Brooks, the first man there, number 56, the leading tackler. Only his 2nd year inside, and he said, I really never made a lot of big plays until this year, and now I'm doing it.
Wade Phillips qualifies him as an old-time middle linebacker. It's Ray Hanley now trying to figure out, okay, it's 3rd and long again. I don't necessarily like these situations. One thing that Jeff Hostetler is thinking right now that I'm sure the coach is impressed on him, don't take a sack, don't make a mistake, respect the football down here.
And sooner or later, they're going to have to look at the clock, which is down to 35 seconds. Hostetler, a lot of time, can't find anyone. throws incomplete. Did a good job just getting rid of it to avoid the sack as Cragen chased him toward the sideline. You don't want the sack because it can take you out of field goal position.
If he got sacked where he was, it would have been a 46-yard field goal attempt instead of a 37-yarder, which they're going to be faced with now.
And 46 or 47, definitely the end of Matt Barr's range. He already has a 30-yarder. This one will be 38. And Matt Barr has given the Giants their second score of the night. 14-6, Denver.
At BASF, we help make carpet more colorful, more durable, more valuable for your home team. At BASF, we don't make the carpet, we make it better.
Families are big, big business, so everybody says theirs is a family car. All right, tell me it has 90 cubic feet of passenger space like a Subaru Legacy then. Enough room for 5 so you're close but not touching me close. Tell me it has a quiet, horizontally opposed engine like the Legacy. There's enough noise already with a family. Tell me it offers all-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes like a Legacy. A family car is for my family, not some other family I don't care so much about. Tell me I have the money. I want to know what to drive.
When regular drills hold you back, send in the Ranger cordless drill from Black & Decker. It goes anywhere to handle all the tough jobs. No strings attached. The Ranger cordless drill, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
Where to find the mountain man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the mountain man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the mountain man.
18 seconds to go in the half. The Giants have just scored for the second time in the game. They trail 14-6. Hope you'll stay with us at halftime. Coming up, Chris Berman in the fastest 3 minutes in television, all the highlights. And then the Bills against the Dolphins with our Monday night preview. Joe will be back with his first half analysis. And Tom Jackson, of course, a great star here in Denver, up on the Ring of Fame around Mile High Stadium, part of our continuing studio coverage. And I'm sure Tommy's rather pleased right now.
Tommy is very proud and has a lot to be proud of. He's up there with a lot of great players and certainly deserves to be there.
Russell. And got it back just across the 20-yard line. As we said, Elway will not play the rest of this half. Maddox will be the quarterback. Hope you'll be with us next Sunday at noon. Game day with Chris, Tom, and Joe, providing the most comprehensive pregame show we think in the NFL. Then at 7, Chris and Tom are back with NFL Primetime, highlights and analysis of all the games. And then at 8 o'clock, Joe and I will be in the Kingdome as the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Seattle Seahawks. And Kansas City really put some lumps on the Redskins today. I've really been surprised by the Chiefs. I thought at this point they'd be 8-2. I still think they're one of the best teams in football. 13 seconds to go. We'll see what Maddox does with it. Green will get the carry. What a nice block downfield. He picked up about 7. Broncos making no move toward a timeout. And Denver has satisfied 76,000 plus here at Mile High so far as they continue to lead the New York Giants 14-6 at halftime. Let's join Chris Berman. Chris?
All right, Michael, thank you.
Denver with a halftime lead here at Mile High Stadium, 14-6 over the New York Giants. And we talked early about the Denver offense, which has struggled this year, 24th in the league statistically. The only thing that really boosted it up the last-second heroics of John Elway. He started early tonight, calling his own plays and came up with big plays.
Yeah, he didn't wait till the final 2 minutes of the game this time, calling his own plays. He's done an excellent job of balancing run and pass. But here's the first one. Now, that's the first part of it. All of a sudden, it breaks down. He finds Mark Jackson out on the left side. And this is all Mark Jackson's speed. Does a great job. Michael Young helping him out for about the last 10 yards. Jackson knows he's close to the end zone, reaches in. Touchdown Broncos. Now, the key thing that happened to the Broncos in the first half was John Elway. Watch his right shoulder get slammed into the ground. He gets hit from the left side by Greg Jackson, gets his arm out, and he immediately reaches for his right shoulder. Came back in for a few plays, but then on this particular play, which is an interception, Arthur Marshall hooks up, ball's gone, out of here. Greg Jackson's got it, though. He starts down the sidelines. Right part of your screen, John Elway is going to get involved in the tackle again and gets hit on the left shoulder, but still, he's still taking a shot, trying to protect himself, People are still trying to hit him. He's still trying to make a play. And I really think that it's the hits that he's taken more than anything that have created the problems.
And from that point, we were told Elway would not play anymore in the first half. We'll see if he comes back in the third quarter. (14-6), Denver at the half. John Elway on the sideline with the right shoulder bandaged under the Denver jacket, and it looks for all the world like John Elway's night is done. We are still waiting on a medical report. The last we have, a bad right shoulder bruise. Barr to kick to Gaston Green and Derek Russell. If that's the case, it's up to the Denver defense.
I don't necessarily agree with that, Mike. I think this is a good situation to get Tommy Maddox in the game right away.
Green from the 1. Did not make the 20-yard line. First half stats. 101 passing yards for Denver, only 17 for the New York Giants. Really, they didn't dominate on the ground either, only got 71.
Broncos did an excellent job, though, rushing the football. And there you see the sacks by the Broncos. They have 3. Time of possession, not unusual. The Giants, a run-oriented football team, but the Broncos able to come up with the big plays.
With Maddox at quarterback, obviously he's not calling his own plays. What changes in the offense?
Nothing much, because remember, Dan Reeves is still the coach of the football team. He and Elway were in sync. John just happened to be the on-field man calling the plays.
Green on first down. Gets it out to the 20. Leonard Marshall waiting for him there.
It really isn't going to be first and second down that I think is going to make a difference for the Broncos, Mike. I think it's going to be what happens on third down, converting the third downs. We talked about different individuals having to step up and make plays. There's Pepper Johnson again. Just eyeing it, drops a few steps back, comes up, grabs Gaston, says, you aren't going any further.
2nd and 8. He's tight end. Green and Pepper Johnson in the backfield. A veteran like Pepper Johnson knows the situation. With Maddox, the rookie quarterback, in there, he guessed run in a hurry and got there.
He made the statement before that the best thing we can do for LT is go out and win football games. He's taken this thing personally on his own shoulders to lead by example. Ray Handley talked about we have to find some other people stand up and be leaders. That's one. You see Steve Diassi, bloody in the face. Good-looking defensive play. Blood running down the nose. Delightful.
3rd and 11 for Pepper Johnson and the Giants defense against the Broncos. Maddox with time in the pocket. Floats it down the sideline. Rivers! Big-time throw from Maddox. Nice touch, and Rivers with the catch. A gain of 31, and Ray Handley's beside himself over something.
That big, that you heard, that big gust of wind, that was Tommy Maddox breathing out after he threw the ball. He does a nice job of setting in the pocket. Hangs it up nice. Watch this ball turn over. See that thing come down nose first? Nice job. Great concentration by Rivers. He's got the gift of an athlete, I'll tell you that. Now it's just a question of becoming seasoned.
What's a nice catch by Rivers, too. Gaston Green piles into midfield. And it looked like Pepper Johnson was trying to rip the ball loose and didn't get it. He actually was not throwing a punch.
You sure?
No. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
If you're in that pile, you don't know. But I think you're absolutely right. There you see the plays being shuttled in from the sideline. In effect, it will affect a little bit the 10 guys on the field besides the quarterback, but they understand that it's the best situation for them is to have the play shuttled in and relayed to the quarterback verbally.
You saw the numbers on Maddox tonight. He has thrown 12 passes in his short NFL career. 2nd and 8. Maddox with a touch again, wide open, Jackson to the 17-yard line. Somebody blew a coverage, and Mark Collins had to make the tackle after a gain of 34.
We've seen it time and time again, Mike. Play action pass holds the linebackers. No one would tell you that the New York Giant linebackers have a lot of speed. Little bit of play action pass. What's going to happen is they've got to absent. Watch what happens. These linebackers are going to start back. They're going to come up. Then they have to get back. You'll see a big dead area. Big dead area. They release them. The linebackers get caught. Now look at that hole. Unbelievable. That's what happens when you get the play action to that side of the field.
Green. Not this time. It looked like Pepper Johnson stepped into the hole again and made another tackle. He's had a heck of a night.
There's a little contrast. Just to take a look at what John Elway did in the first. Take a look at that. No deep passes. Nothing over 15 yards. Right there. Nothing over 15 yards. Everything was down in the 15-yard area. Tommy Maddox, on the other hand, has thrown 2 deep passes so far, both to the right side. Little difference in the way that Dan Reeves is calling the plays as opposed to the way John Elway did.
Jackson and Johnson both go to the far side. Draw, Green to the 7-yard line. Pepper Johnson had him around the ankles. Perry Williams helped out.
Interesting scenario, Mike. We talked about the New York Giant defense having to pick it up because LT's not there. We have the same scenario now for the Denver Broncos because John Elway isn't there. So that means that the offensive line's going to block a little bit harder. The backs have to run a little bit harder. Number 68, Russell Freeman, a guy who's been much maligned, doing a good job on Leonard Marshall. Just literally getting in his face.
Freeman is a rookie free agent out of Georgia Tech. Young man who suffered a stroke in 1984. Really hurt his vision in one eye. Scouts shied away from him. He's done a heck of a job. Maddox, quarterback keeper, didn't look like he got an inch on 3rd and short.
I don't think that one's going to be real high on the 3rd and short chart anymore. You got to figure that your quarterback can find a little bit of a crease to gain a yard.
Of course, that's a call you never cared for, isn't it?
I'll tell you what we did. It was very interesting. Joe Gibbs used to send it in. But I got hit in a Buffalo game. I got 2 guys in the face. Didn't make the first down. Joe sent in the rest of my career, sent in probably a dozen of them. Never ran a quarterback sneak again. It's just a little off fake, and he's looking for a crease, and Pepper's not giving him any place to go.
They'll bring in the change.
I don't like it. You got Bunch's 250, Hampton's 230. I mean, I'm sorry, excuse me, but you'd like to have Bunch, wouldn't you? Yeah. So what happens is you've got the smaller guys back there. You've got a guy like Gaston Green, who's only 190 pounds, but at least he's got a head of steam coming to the line of scrimmage.
And Dan Reeves chooses to build on the lead. He'll send in the field goal team and David Treadwell. Already leading 14-6. This would make it an 11-point ball game. Treadwell, like Barr, extremely accurate. This will be a 25-yard attempt. Treadwell's 25-yard field goal makes it 17-6 Denver, 3rd quarter.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Energizer batteries. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. With that fresh, pure, natural taste, nothing beats a Bud.
you from Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Broncos lead by 11. Dave Meggett and Joey Smith waiting Gallerissa's kickoff. This one's a low-line drive, and Meggett lets it go, and the Giants will take it at the 20 again. We have a timeout with 8:47 to go, third quarter. Denver on top. .8:47 to go, third quarter. Denver with a 25-yard field goal is leading by 11. Tommy Maddox led the drive, 74 yards in 9 plays. Treadwell finished it off, and here's the key play.
Nice job by Maddox. The play action set up this pass to Mark Jackson, crossing into a dead area as the Giant defenders bit on the play fake. Now, take a look at who Maddox's #1 fan is. There's Raymond Berry right in the middle. He sees the ball go up. Woo! Yeah. Happy about that.
5 out of 6 times the Giants have started from their own 20. Hampton. Bunch in front, and Hampton has 11 yards and a first down. Henderson and Dennis Smith had to make the tackle. Hampton, 13 carries, 65 yards.
Looks like the Giants have decided if they're going to run and they want to run effectively, they're going to run over John Elliott, 76, and William Roberts on the left side. Hampton has certainly had his share of holes to get through. Number 87, Cross just turning out Kroll. Ooh, big hit by Gerard Bunch.
Really, Denver physically no match for that Giant offensive line. And yet, New York has but 2 field goals to show for the evening. Hampton with 2 100-yard games this year.
Dennis Smith made a comment about Rodney Hampton. He said he's a very unique back because he can either run over you or around you, so they don't envy the opportunity to try and tackle him.
2nd and 8 for the Giants. 7:38 to go, third period. Hampton again, straight ahead. Bowling his way out to the 39-yard line. Wyman Henderson got the first hit on Hampton.
Jeff Hostetler again falling into the same rhythm that John Elway did the first half. You'll see nothing deep. Everything within this 15-yard area. Dumping the ball off on the sides. Not a whole lot of passes from Haas, and you really don't expect it because it's a run-oriented offense.
And Ray Handley admitted last night we run block a heck of a lot better than we pass block, and Hostetler will testify to that. 3rd and 1, Hampton, head down. He did not get the first down, and the middle of that Denver defense stopped him at the 40. He needed to reach the 41. And they'll punt it away.
We talked about the Giants wanting to run left. Watch everybody get under. Cragen gets under. Drenette gets in there. Mecklenburg gets in there. Atwater gets in. Everybody's trying to get a piece of the ball carry.
Sean Landetta with room to kick. Arthur Marshall waits back at the 10. High floating spiral. Marshall, fair cut signal, let it go. Thompson trying to save it and can't. One of the best special team players around, Renee Thompson, couldn't hold it at the 1. A punt of 60 yards for Landetta. We'll be back in a moment. LT's best game? According to Bill Parcells, it was November 27th, 1988 against the Saints, and we were lucky enough to be there. Early in the contest, Taylor re-injured a badly damaged right shoulder. He had to return to the sideline and was fitted with a harness. Later, playing in great pain, he still recorded 10 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles in a dramatic 1-point Giant win. There will never be another like LT. Green on the delay up to about the 26-yard line. And what the Giants have tried to do, at least filling that right side linebacker spot, Corey Miller, number 57, playing on a rundown, And then Canavis McGee out of Colorado comes in on the passing downs. That's Canavis, number 96.
One of the advantages that both of them have, too, is they work through the May mini camp, so they are familiar with the system.
Right.
Actually, even a little bit more than LT was. He was just really starting to play himself into shape.
Gain of 6 on the last play, 2nd and 4. Elway is out with a badly bruised right shoulder. Maddox now the Denver quarterback. First down, Denver. Perry Williams made the tackle. How good was Lawrence Taylor as an outside linebacker? From 81 through 83, he led linebackers in sacks. From 84 through 86, he had 45. Again, number 1 in sacks. 87 through 89, first again. From 90 to 92, as his physical skills started to slip, down to 22.5 sacks. But Mike Lupica wrote an interesting article in the New York papers the other day. He said you don't measure LT by the sheer numbers. You don't measure him by anything except the memory you have of Lawrence Taylor, and we've all got them. Some more than others, like you. Maddox with a high toss, tipped in the air, nearly picked off. Looked like Mark Collins got a hand on it. And there's Raymond Berry, the man who is trying to tutor the rookie quarterback, Tommy Maddox.
Maddox does a nice job of standing in the pocket. Pepper Johnson, though, shoots the gap, waits, picks, puts a helmet on him. Welcome aboard. This is a John Elway type pass. Lock and load and fire. Nobody can get their hands on it. Maybe the air up here.
2nd and 10, and Pepper Johnson is on the of the night for the time. Here they come on blitz. They got there early. Howard makes the tackle on the running play. Let's see if they killed the play. Giants were in a blitz, but got a step early, and they're offside. They're at the point now they'd like to make something happen on defense, down 17-6.
Encroachment, number 58. Defense, 2nd down. I'm translating again. Bob's having a little trouble with the mic. You gotta help the officials out a little.
You were good at that last week.
I said, okay, it doesn't work. I'll let Joe do it. That whistle works.
2nd and 5 for Denver. Broncos have done an excellent job running the ball tonight. Green on the delay. Tripped up in the backfield. And that was Mike Fox, number 93, who got a hand on an ankle.
It looks like the Giants have taken a different defensive approach. They figure they're going to put enough people close to the line of scrimmage, force Maddox to throw the football. They feel like they can get in his face. He's not as mobile as Elway, so they don't have that fear factor anymore. They can line up and just go after him and shut down the running game. Look at that blood. Steve Biasi. Yeah, that's a linebacker. This picture's in a dictionary where it says linebacker.
Reggie Rivers, the single step back beside Maddox. Maddox guns complete. Arthur Marshall, the rookie, fight for the football, knocked loose, but after the whistle. Renee Thompson on the coverage, and Ray Handley hoping for the turnover. He didn't get it. Clutch throw by Maddox to keep the drive going.
It's a clutch throw, but you got to give credit to an offensive line. Quarterbacks need passing lanes. You can't throw over defensive linemen, but you get a passing lane. See that passing lane? The receiver's going to come into it. That's what makes this play, even as much as the throw itself. The ability to have a clear vision in passing. Come on, Vance!
First down, Denver at its own 45. 3:10 to go, 3rd period. And the play clock ran out. That'll cost him 5.
That is a result of having coaches send plays in from the sidelines. It's going to take a little bit longer.
It's interesting, some of the linemen said they like it better when the quarterback's calling the play. It gives them more time to think about their assignment as they go to the line of scrimmage rather than racing up there.
You're absolutely right, Mike. You won't see a lineman in National Football League tell you that if he has time to think, he's not going to be a little bit better.
1st and 15 now, back at the Denver 40. Maddox to the shotgun. Inside handoff to Marshall. Marshall picked up about 3. Corey Miller with the big hit over there. Chased the play all the way from his right linebacker spot, and Pepper Johnson was involved again.
Interesting, when LT was carried off the field last week, came up to Corey Miller, they passed, and he said, this is what he told him. He said, it's up to you now to step in. And so he sort of passed the baton to this young man, and he's certainly doing his share to help out.
The Broncos already, with 2:10 to go in the third quarter, have passed their average of total offense for the season. They have done very well tonight. 4-man rush. Maddox with time, throws it out in the flat, complete to Sharp. And Sharp knocked out at the 48-49-yard line. Mark Collins over there on the coverage. Sharp says he talks to his brother Sterling virtually every day. Both having real good years, and they support each other.
Give each other scouting reports. They play the same team. They let each other know what the other one did.
Tommy Maddox, 5 out of 8, 84 yards. In control, throwing some very good ball. 3rd and 7 here. Maddox again, excellent protection, throws to Rivers. To the Giant 30-yard line. Greg Jackson knocked him out of bounds. Rivers has made a couple of big plays tonight.
I can't drive the point home enough, the job that this offensive line's doing for the Broncos. Watch the lane he gets. There it is. See how he steps up? He's got that throwing lane again. As a quarterback, look at that. Nobody in the way. Nobody there. Perfect vision to the receiver. Rivers does a nice job. Got the ball on the outside, protecting it. Puts his shoulder down. He delivers the blow, not the defensive back.
Another first down for the Broncos. Green, they try the sweep. Diassi couldn't get him. There's a flag down as Collins made the tackle up to 25, and that looks like it will be a hold on the corner. Only 57 seconds to go in the third period, and Denver working on the Giants defense and working on the clock.
Holding number 87.
88.
First down. Nope, 88. That's who it was. I'm not that good at look readers. There he is, number 88. Carl Banks on the outside does a nice job of getting in, and Kay just absolutely tackles him. Think you got by me? I can't let you do that. I got to try and tackle you.
So they'll move it back to the 40-yard line.
So you grin a little bit when you know you've been caught. He's sort of grinning a little on the sideline.
Nobody on the coaching staff is grinning. 1st and 20. Maddox jumps off the screen to Greg Lewis. Lewis gets about 6 of those 20 yards back.
Bronco fans from last year will know Greg Lewis in number 41. He changed it to number 20, which was the number he wore at Washington. He just said, numbers don't make a difference, but 20 is more comfortable. He said 20 looks more like a running back than 41.
The Broncos dominated the time of possession in the third quarter, and as that period comes to a close, they'll go to the other end of the field with a 17-6 lead over the New York Giants. The NFC East has not been a friend to the Denver Broncos over the years, but tonight they may be breaking that jinx.
Well, the NFC East everywhere is having their share of problems. What they've basically done is what the Broncos have done is they've controlled the line of scrimmage, which is something I didn't think they could do against the New York Giants.
4 out of 5 NFC East teams have lost today. The Giants are losing. If all 5 lose, according to our research, that would be the first time it has ever happened. The Giants trying to avoid that. Maddox on a roll. Said he's a quarterback in a safety's body and dives inside the 30-yard line. Pepper Johnson got it. story of the third quarter is very simple. Time of possession. Denver, 12 minutes to less than 3 for the Giants. Now, you would think, statistically, it would be the other way around, with the Giants possessing it on the ground.
The key has been key third down pass completions and execution by the offensive line of the Broncos and Tommy Maddox.
And keep in mind, the Giants need 2 touchdowns right now to win this ball game. Maybe more, depending on what Denver does here. Comes the blitz. Maddox hangs in there. Incomplete. Looked like Vance Johnson had a real shot at making the catch. Couldn't hold it. Pepper Johnson was back there with him. He's been everywhere. This guy will sleep well on a plane going home.
Well, now you start to be concerned a little bit if you're the New York Giants, because you are at Mile High Stadium. There is a difference as far as conditioning goes here. The Broncos do have an advantage. So now you'll have to see the Giants rotate a lot more people on defense to try and keep them fresh.
Treadwell will try from 46. Got it all. David Treadwell with his longest field goal of the year. Chris, and speaking of quarterback injuries, John Elway hurt his throwing shoulder tonight and has been sidelined ever since. We are told he will not play the rest of the night. X-rays are negative, just a bad bruise. And right now, Tommy Maddox has handled the offense beautifully.
I think he's done a sensational job.
Galoiso, 4 straight touchbacks, make it 5. This one may get to Colorado Springs. 14:02 to go in this game. The Giants will take over at the 20. NFL record for a field goal is 63 yards. There's a young man who might potentially break it one day.
Why is he smiling? Well, on the last kickoff, watch this. Now, he's kicking from his own 35. Look at this thing. You see the goalpost? You see the goalpost, Cam? This thing's good from 85 yards, which really comes in handy in case you need to kick a field goal at the end of a game at Mile High for a free kick. It's 65 plus the 10, plus it went another 10.
Galoiso, the 3rd kicker on Denver's roster. He has tried 1 long field goal this year. And now the Giants have to produce on offense. Hampton got about 3. And Michael Brooks had him around the ankles. Atwater came up to finish him off.
I believe the Giants are into an area that you wouldn't call their strength. Jeff Hostetler can still make plays, but they're going to have to pick up more than 3 yards of possession if they want to get in position to tie this game with 2 scores.
I'd say this is domination. The Giants 5th passing yards in the second half. They better get some in a hurry. Hostetler with a lot of time and throws short and incomplete to Hampton. Wouldn't have been much anyway. Charles Dimry, number 29, was right there. Our presentation of the Major League Baseball game continues this Tuesday with the expansion draft. Complete coverage of all 3 rounds. Selections by the Colorado Rockies and the Miami Marlins. Keith Olbermann and our draft team live from New York on Tuesday. And the Rockies general manager Bob Gebhardt will announce their choice to pick first in the first round or first in the second and third. And that's at 7 o'clock. And Bart Oates says, look, I can be a 2-sport guy just like Dion. Let me play out here. 3rd down for the Giants. Hostetler to Megan. Got to do it on his own, and Atwater won't let him. Lilo Lang and Atwater hemmed him in and brought him down.
Great job of knowing the tendencies of the New York Giants and executing plays. Hostetler gets the guy he wants. Megan one-on-one on Lilo Lang, but he just won't bite. Got help from Henderson coming up on the outside, makes the open field tackle.
Landetta has to kick it away. Marshall, fair catch signal back at the 26. A punt of 48 yards and no return. Now 12:36 to go in the game. Still Denver by 2 touchdowns.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get, guaranteed, at McDonald's today.
Late in the game last week against Green Bay, it was the New York Giant defense that turned the game around. They need to try to do it again as Denver takes over its own 27. Gaston Green, who's had a fine night, gets about 5. Canavis McGee on the stop. And Tempers going and a flag down.
And that's going to be against Doug Waddell, number 67, pushing after the play. No matter what happened before, the officials always see the guy who retaliates.
Dead ball, offsetting personal foul. Personal foul offense, personal foul defense. After the play, the down counts. The down counts.
Russell Freeman, a guy who was criticized early in his starts these years because he's a free agent, does a nice job on Leonard Marshall. Good foot position, good drive on the ball. One thing that Dan Reeves said about him that impressed him during training camp, he was always 35, 40 yards down the field when the play was over. He just jumped out at you.
And nobody beats him physically, just technique, and he'll get better at that. 2nd and 4 as the play stands. Greg Lewis runs into Maddox. Pepper Johnson pins him, but he's close to another first down at the 38. The NFC, acknowledged as the NFC East, the best division in football, hammered today. The Cowboys, the Redskins, the Eagles, and the Cardinals all lose. The Giants are down 2 touchdowns with 11:53 to go. The mystique may be over. Ray Handley unhappy perhaps about the spot. Or about the offsetting penalty call. And that will be short by about the length of a football.
Yeah, but he wants it a lot shorter than that, or a lot more to go than that.
As it is, it's 3rd and a foot.
Watch where his knee hits the ground. His knee hits the ground. The ball's down.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's about a half a yard too far. It should be back on that hash mark, but it doesn't matter.
3rd and a foot. Lewis got it. Lost the ball. No signal. The Giants have it. Are they going to say it's down? The officials conferring with each other. Nobody made a signal that the ball was down.
Now you got a wrestling match. When everybody piles up, it's whoever winds up with it at the bottom of the pile that's got the ball.
The Giants certainly got there first.
The defense makes another big play. They get the turnover. Boy, and that's the one thing that Dan Reeves wanted Tommy Maddox to remind his guys. Just don't turn it over. We've got time on our side.
Greg Jackson was the player who came out with a football.
Greg Lewis got a hole. All he has to do is get down. That ball does come out. It is a fumble. It's on the ground, and there's a lot of Giants going after it. Got to open it up now. You got to open it up.
It looked like Collins knocked it, or Jackson knocked it loose and got it back. Play action. Complete from Hostetler inside the 20-yard line. And, Joe, you were right. Chris Callaway makes only his 12th catch of the year. And it's play action on first down when everybody expects the Giants to run.
Well, it's acknowledged that the Giants are not that proficient a passing team. As a matter of fact, Hostetler's not necessarily the most accurate passer in the world, but he's good enough to get the job done. Gets good protection, sets in the pocket, does a nice job of finding the open receiver. Haas can get it done.
Hampton. Nice cut to get 5, maybe 6 yards inside the 10-yard line. The Giants need 2 touchdowns. They're down 20-6. And their defense has been very tough in the second half. Mecklenburg and Dimry made the last stop.
They cannot afford to come away this close to the goal line with just 3 points.
No, because they're not going. It takes them a lot longer than most teams to drive. And they've been extremely effective in the red zone inside the 20 this year. Hampton fighting. Finally trips over Callaway. Goes down to the 4. He should have another first down.
It's just some great running by Hampton. The Broncos figure they're going to try and run, so what they do is they bring the safeties right up the middle. Here comes Brooks. Now you'll see the safeties get involved. All Hampton does is run right through Steve Atwater's arms.
The Giants first in the league inside the 20 in scoring. But as Joe says, they've got to have the touchdown. First and goal. Hampton, 88 yards on 19 carries. Hampton. Absolutely nothing there. He lost 2. And I was waiting for a rollout call.
You see, if you're going to do that, run the play action, get the inside linebackers coming. Jeff Hostetler's a good runner. You want to give him a chance to make a play. Give your quarterback a chance to be the guy. Watch number 27, Steve Atwater. Brooks takes on Bunch. Atwater just plants his helmet right on the ball.
2 tacklers, 1 blocker. Second and goal. Hostetler can run. Touchdown.
There you go. Give him a chance. Give him a chance to win it for you. Denver's defense did the best they could trying to hold them out, but sooner or later, the big offensive line of the Giants are going to make plays.
The first run tonight for Hostetler is a touchdown.
They've got everybody on this side. It's simply a sprint out. Bunch does a nice job on Fletcher. Hoss makes his mind up, tucks it away. He's not going to be denied.
Matt Barr for the point after. Knocks it through. It is a 1-touchdown ball game. The 9-year veteran from West Virginia gets the Giants within 1 score. It's 20-13. Denver leading the Giants by a touchdown. 8:54 to go. We hope you'll start every one of your Sundays at noon Eastern with NFL Game Day. Chris, Tom, and Joe. Then at 7 o'clock, Chris and TJ back with primetime highlights of all the games. And then we'll be in the Kingdome as the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Seattle Seahawks. Kansas City trying to catch Denver in the AFC West. Russell cuts it outside. Shoved out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 32, and a flag goes down after the play. Lewis Tillman pushed him out of bounds.
Personal foul, 39 defense, heading out of bounds.
It's just stupid. Don't shrug your shoulders. The guy's out of bounds. You can't touch him. This is just a bad rookie mistake. Look, he's out of bounds. Why is he pushing?
That's Corey Raymond.
I mean, it's just bad. Just a bad, lack of using your head can beat you more in this game than anything physical sometimes.
And it moves the ball out near midfield. What's going to happen is the Denver Broncos need a couple of first downs to be in field goal range.
Both Giants scored. Giants have scored 10 points tonight off the 2 Bronco turnovers, off the interception and the fumble.
And the Giant defense has to make another stand. Gaston Green flips it back to Maddox. He guns it. Jackson. Mark Collins got a free ride. What a play.
What a great call by Dan Reeves.
Sure was.
I mean, Dan, you wouldn't know he's got a rookie quarterback out there running his show for him. He is showing tremendous confidence in Tommy Maddox. Green up inside, the old flea flicker. Maddox reads the defense quickly, no hesitation. Now Jackson just freezes him. Boy, he has been good after he's got his hands on the ball tonight.
Woo! Maddox, 8 out of 12, 136 yards. Jackson has gone over 100, and Denver is inside the Giant 30. Rivers. Leonard Marshall waiting for him as he got to the line of scrimmage. Right now, it would be about a 46, 47-yard field goal, which is at the limit of Treadwell's range.
But it's well inside DeLuiso.
That's true.
We found that out.
And Treadwell kicked the season-long 46-yarder earlier, and it had plenty to spare.
Tommy Maddox can help his team now with the 45-second clock and just keep bleeding it as much as he can. This is where the experience at the quarterback position pays off.
Right now it's at 12. Gaston Green to the 10, to the 5. Pepper Johnson chased him downfield to make yet another tackle. Gaston Green has been sensational. 86 yards on 16 carries.
It's the little things in the beginning. Watch the move he puts on Carl Banks. Banks is right there. It's just a hesitation and a step over. Collins squares up, tries to tackle him. He runs through that tackle. Now he gets down the field. Jackson misses him. Pepper winds up catching him 5 yards from the goal line.
First and goal. 6:37 left. Rivers all the way down to the 2. And the Giants have been guilty of some sloppy tackling tonight. If you're into statistics, this will be very pleasant for you. The Denver Broncos with 134 yards rushing. Gaston Green in combination with an offensive line that has been much maligned and has done its job tonight. Second and goal. Lewis. Touchdown.
Number 88, Clarence Kay, is the man that he'll run behind. Does a great job getting the corner sealed on Corey Miller. Lewis just goes in standing up.
Treadwell for the point after. And Denver once again leads by 14. Greg Lewis, the 5th-round draft choice a year ago, scores the touchdown. Jeff Hostetler needs 2 touchdowns out of the Giant offense in the last 5:44. They'll probably have to start from the 25-yard line because of that man, Brad DeLuiso, who's put all of them in the end zone. This one, the short bouncing kick. Megan picks her up at the 2. And there's a flag down that should take it back inside the 5. So DeLuiso finally gets a bad kick, and it works to Denver's advantage anyway. John Kaczerski, downfield for Denver, made the tackle on special teams.
Number 51 on the return team. Illegal push in the back. Half the distance. Touchdown.
Bobby Abrams, the linebacker who was picked up this week.
This is not a panic situation for the Giants. All they have to do is be methodical, put together about a 3-minute scoring drive, and they'll be able to kick the ball to the Broncos with 2:30 to go and put the onus on their defense to get it back to them.
And that defense on the sideline, they are whipped. The altitude up here can kill you. Hostetler to Meggett on the inside handoff. Meggett scrambles his way out to the 8 to give him a little operating room. The last scoring drive, and very, very important it was. Lewis finished it off from 53 yards.
Interestingly enough, the key play is on the kickoff. Casey Raymond just pushing Russell out of bounds, 15 yards. Gave the Broncos the ball at the 50.
2nd and 4, Hostetler from the end zone and throws short out at the 25-yard line. The reason we called that the key play is that it moved the ball out near midfield and allowed Denver to call anything it wanted. The first play they called was a flea flicker.
Right.
Third down for the Giants inside their own 10. 5:04 remaining. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you from Denver. Hostetler incomplete. Meggett couldn't hold it at the 14.
You pretty much know that the Giants are going to try and go to Dave Meggett. It only needs 4 yards. Hook up, plant, come back, make the throw. You got to make that catch, Dave.
Atwater got a hand on him after Lilo Lang had slipped, but you're right. That's the one you got to catch.
Hostetler put it the only place he could possibly put it, low and outside. Big-time games require big-time plays.
And now Landeta has to kick out of the shadow of the goalpost. Nobody better at him than that. Drives it way out of there. Marshall back at the 36. Room to run. Flag is down, so is Marshall at the Giant 46-yard line. We'll check the penalty. Return of 17 after a 55-yard boomer by Landeta.
Illegal block in the back, number 31, during the return. 10 yards, first down.
Denver needs this win to remain a game up on Kansas City and 2 up on fast-charging San Diego in the AFC West. And in the NFC East, the Giants blowing a golden opportunity to work their way into a second-place tie with Philadelphia and Washington, and only 2 games behind Dallas. And the Giants have a brutal schedule the rest of the way.
Great job today by the Los Angeles Rams and Jim Everett in particular. I thought Jim Everett over the last 6 weeks has played as well as any quarterback in the league.
He's come on to the form he had a couple of years ago when he was so sensational. Giant defense has to stop Denver again and in a hurry. Green, Dorsey planted a helmet right in his chest and drove him back. And now the Giants will use their timeouts now, and more teams are going to the timeouts earlier and earlier. It's no longer a 2-minute drill. It's almost like a 4-minute drill.
The reason why is because of the 45-second clock. I would like to see that rule change inside of 2 minutes. I would like to see it go back to a 30-second clock so that the defense has a chance to stop an offense. If you're sitting on a lead now with a 45-second clock, you're not even going to get near the ball inside of 3 minutes.
Of course, the college football season getting very interesting now. We hope you'll join us at 11:30 each Saturday morning. Game day with Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Craig James. 4 o'clock, our CFA matchup. Pitt, which has struggled through this year against Penn State. They lost a heartbreaker at Notre Dame. Then at 7:30, out to the Pac-10. 15th ranked USC against UCLA. 2nd and 7 for the Denver Broncos. 4:38 to go. Moved movement along the line, and Gaston Green pounding his way in there. No flag down. Looked like somebody jumped early. And the Giants will spend another timeout.
What the Giants are going to have to do on defense.
That's their second charged timeout. 40-second timeout.
What the Giants are going to have to do on defense is try and stand up the ball carrier with one tackle and have the other guys come in and try and strip the ball away to force a turnover. I would not expect the Broncos to put the ball in the air at this juncture of the game.
Ray Handley, much maligned in the New York press. What some people don't seem to realize is he does not have the talent level on this team that Bill Parcells did when he was winning championships. This team is getting older. Lawrence Taylor announced his retirement. Then he was hurt and may or may not come back next year. This team is getting long in the tooth. They are in desperate need of wide receivers.
I was just going to say the one area that the New York Giants need help is in the passing game. And there's the general manager, George Young, sitting here looking over. And you know, the thing is a lot of times you realize what your needs are, but the talent pool to choose from sometimes isn't enough to enhance what you're looking for.
Especially when you've been successful. You draft lower, you don't get the impact play. On third down, Maddox dumps it off. Rivers, nice play. Renee Thompson drove him out of bounds, and now they say the clock will continue to run.
Yeah, I know.
I've never liked that. He was not down inbound.
He was still fighting. If he'd have broken loose and ran up the field, would they have stopped the clock?
Really don't understand that.
I got to tell you something. I think the Giants did not get a very good call at that particular point. And it comes at a bad time because it was exactly what they were looking for. It means they wouldn't have to spend another timeout.
Exactly. Meggett now has to wait back at his 20-yard line for the punt of Rodriguez. We'll see if the Giants come after him. And you saw how effective Meggett can be, and the Giants did have to use their last timeout. Now that last play, and now I'm sure that's what Ray Handley is talking about. If the man isn't tackled inbounds, how can you not give him?
There's a little play action pass. They run the little dump. Rivers is running, he's running. I don't.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It is. I mean, if he breaks loose and turns up the field, are you going to say he's down? Personally, I promise not to get on the officials. I haven't yet this year. First time. Bad call by an official right there.
Well, Ray Handley, the only thing the officials can say is his forward progress was stopped, but that's when you stand a guy straight up. He's running sideways. The Giants have to burn their third timeout. Now we may have a change in that as the officials talking to both benches. I think they're saying now there was no timeout.
Well, they're going to have to put some time back on the clock.
Yep, you're right.
Clock is corrected to 4:10.
Rodriguez, who was picked up when Mike Horan was injured, come on and punched very well, the free agent out of Arizona. Giants 10 men at the line of scrimmage, and they were not charged with that last time. Rodriguez left foots it out of there. Returnable kick. Meggett only got it back 5 yards after a punt of 42 by Rodriguez, and Victor Jones downfield to make the tackle.
And Keith Taylor, number 54, is lucky there's not a penalty tacked on for tripping, because you're not supposed to do that either. You're supposed to tackle guys. Watch this, number 54. Look at him stick that foot out.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a trip. Broncos get another break there.
Well, the Giants are going to need all the breaks they can get from now on. 4 minutes to go. They need 2 touchdowns. They start from their own 25. Behind Simon Fletcher with the sack. Giants recover, but back at the 14-yard line.
That is just a great job by the defensive secondary of the Denver Broncos. Jeff Hostetler had all day. They only rushed 3. Fletcher just wouldn't quit.
And if you don't have wide receivers with speed, you can't drive those guys off the ball.
I don't buy it in this juncture, Mike. There's too many holes out there in the zone in the prevent defense.
Hostetler goes down again. Greg Cragen, the nose man, with the 5th sack of the night for the Denver defense. And Hostetler is hurt.
Cragen right up the middle. Bart Oates all by himself tries to pass off. William Roberts doesn't pick him up, and Haas just gets slammed down to the ground.
Keep in mind the Giants have Phil Simms still on injured reserve.
This would mean that Kent Graham, rookie out of Ohio State, would wind up coming in. Of course, Jeff had back problems earlier in the year.
Graham, the 8th-round draft choice this year out of Ohio State. He was the backup to Greg Fry at Ohio State. Before that, the backup to Tony Rice at Notre Dame.
And this finishes off a day today in the National Football League where a lot of starting quarterbacks got put on the shelves.
There's Phil Simms. They said he could be able to start working out next week.
I talked to him on the field before. He threw a little bit out here. He says he doesn't feel that he's ready to start working out. They'd hoped and anticipated that he would start on Monday. He doesn't feel that way. The Broncos have to be a little bit glad that he's not quarterbacking either, because he's had his way with the Denver Broncos of late.
Hostetler still down in obvious pain. Denver with 5 sacks, the Giants with none. The Giants have been able to get nothing done through the air. Boy, here's a bad sign.
Cragen just gets him on the top and just gets twisted and flipped down.
Left shoulder and his left side took much of the impact. John Elway forced out of the game earlier when he had his passing shoulder driven into the ground on a scramble. So both starters will not finish this game. Hostetler, of course, the quarterback who came in when Phil Simms was injured late in that championship year, got them through the rest of the regular season and then led them to the Super Bowl win. His wife, Vicki, who I'm sure very concerned watching this, the daughter of West Virginia coach Don Nehlen, where Hostetler played his final 2 years.
Of course, Warren Moon being one of the other quarterbacks who got hurt today, out for 3 to 6 weeks with a broken bone in his back.
This is Dave Brown, who was picked in the 1st round of the supplemental draft, which means the Giants will not have a 1st-round pick coming up in the regular draft. He would back up Graham in an emergency, and Hostetler is being wheeled off the field. We will try to get a medical report for you just as quickly as possible. It has been an awful day for quarterbacks. Hostetler, 6 out of 12, 59 yards, 5 sacks for a loss of 32 yards, and he was swarmed on just about every time he went back. So Kent Graham, who has thrown 4 passes in his career, is on 3rd and 27. Throws short, McCaffrey dives forward to the 16-yard line. Tyrone Braxton makes the tackle. Obviously, they'll have to go for it on 4th down.
The place to try and pick this up is to one of the wide receivers or slot guys over the middle. The Broncos are not going to give it to you outside.
Graham. McCaffrey will not get to the 1st down stick. Stopped at the 20. Again, Tyrone Braxton. Simon Fletcher was coming hard. So was Cragen. Bruised ribs, the report on Jeff Hostetler. He is being taken to the locker room for x-rays. And considering all the things that can happen to a quarterback, that's good news. The good news for Denver is they've got a 2-touchdown lead in the football with 2:31 to go in the game, and their lead in the AFC West is safe. Lewis trying to stay in bounds and did a good job of it.
You know, you talk about little things in a ballgame. We saw the personal foul on the kickoff return, a mistake that cost the Giants a whole bunch of yardage, gave the Broncos an opportunity from midfield. Lewis, as soon as he got the ball, you saw him put 2 hands on it. He says, no, they're not close yet. I can still run with one. Did not run out of bounds and also protected the ball.
The Denver Broncos now only 2 minutes away from their 7th victory in 10 games. We'll be back in a moment. 2 minutes left. Denver by 2 touchdowns over New York. Coming up right after our broadcast, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Gary Miller standing by to catch you up on all the top stories, including the 49ers' big comeback against the Saints. Randall Cunningham's return to the starting lineup. Our Monday night preview with Keith Jackson, followed by NFL Primetime. And Joe Theismann, a lot of good things happened with the Denver Broncos.
It really did. Well, obviously, the bad thing is they lost their quarterback before halftime. Hasn't had a chance to return, but they seem to have found a young quarterback who is maturing with every snap, and their defense has certainly risen to the occasion.
Lewis on the call. Tucked it back, got near the 10-yard line, which would be another first down. Jesse Campbell, the backup safety, made the stop. Pat Bowlen, the Broncos owner, who said he will have a conversation with Dan Reeves when the season is over to discuss contract. They did not get it done before the start of the season, and both said that during the season they prefer not to talk about it.
Particularly Dan. He felt like he wanted to concentrate on his football team. I think he's made some very wise decisions. Number 1 was allowing John Elway to call plays. Number 2 was giving Tommy Maddox a chance to have confidence in it. Came out through the first 2 times that he was on the field. Didn't act like he was going to try and protect him from anything. Put him right out in there and said, go get him, son.
Another good thing he did, I thought, this year, hiring Raymond Berry as his quarterback coach. Clock running to a minute 30. And now Denver will just kneel down to kill the clock. Boy, the fans are a little bloodthirsty, aren't they? They probably remember what the NFC East has done to them over the years and just pounded them into submission and said, let's get a little back.
That's a good move right here. You know, you run some plays, you got a chance of getting people hurt. Here, you don't have a chance of getting anybody hurt. You can bet Tommy Maddox will keep an eye on that 45-second clock. Now, this is where I think a change should be implemented by the league next year. Once it gets inside 2 or 3 minutes, the clock ought to go back to a 30-second clock and allow a defense a chance to make a play.
The Denver Broncos will go to 7-3. The Giants will drop to 5-5 after winning 3 straight. John Elway, hopefully, will get better during the week from that bruised shoulder and be able to play again. And hopefully also Hostetler will recover from the bruised ribs.
I'll tell you, Mike, tonight the Broncos played a very complete football game. Every aspect of their game came through for them. Good, smart decisions on special teams, excellent defensive pursuit, and an excellent job of handling the offense, both by John Elway early and Tommy Maddox late.
Dennis Smith, who had some wicked hits as always, sprinting up from his safety spot. And the Broncos win a big one here in front of another sellout crowd at Mile High Stadium. Our final score, Denver 27, the New York Giants 13. For Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Denver. Sports Center is next after this.